think that, me being a high school golf coach, it's a little different because we can lean on each other. We have a whole squad of guys. I coach girls and guys. We got usually around 20 players every season. We're one of the we're one of the marquee schools in our area. I think that also is, it has something to say about, you have that wind behind you. You know what I mean? You're coming
Hmm.
from a good spot. You got good people around you that love you. And at the end of the day, just from me teaching now for, gosh, this is like my 18th year, 19th year. Young people respond when they know you care about them and you love on them. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
I think that when you show that and you're sincere about that, they're gonna play hard for you, and they're gonna do what you want them to do. But at the end of the day, like, it's to better themselves. So I always kind of go back to that. Like, I'm doing this. We're out here for you. To make you better. Um, and the only people that can do that, the only person that can do that is you. I talk about advocacy a lot, and I tell my students and my players, there should be no bigger advocate for yourself than you, not even your mama, nobody. At the end of the
Hmm.
day, because we live in a very competitive world, and so you have to learn to love yourself, and you got to learn how to, pick yourself up, especially when things get hard, and lean on
Yeah.
lean on your deepest interests, and lean on what you love, and if you really love the game of golf, you're gonna work hard for it. So,
Yeah.
and I'm a
Yeah. You
I'm a
definitely got to hype yourself up.
yeah, I'm a design teacher too, so it's like, I'm fortunate enough to have students that really genuinely like to be creative and want to get into that space, moving with your interests, and letting that be your guide, really.
Speaking of that, it's kind of crazy that you say that because it segues right into the next question. So like, being a design teacher and being a golf coach, but also having one of, if not the, like more noticeable brands when it comes to golf, which is normally a more buttoned up, collared down, tight knit community. How do you guys think that you are able to keep that artistic edge so in the forefront inside of a traditional like legacy sport?
Yeah, I think probably 20 years ago was a really big challenge, but nowadays I feel like it's a little easier. I grew up in New York City and Atlanta and everywhere in between, so I'm an East Coast kid, and so I grew up with hip hop, and I grew up in this. I was my landscape was the cityscape, and so as a
Yeah.
young kid, I was just surrounded by that culture and the graffiti and the street art, and it's kind of like part of my fabric. So it's like that's that's something that's part of me. And so when I do art and when I do design, I'm just kind of sharing you know, my fabric. I'm just extending me to the world, and I just hope that other people resonate with it or they like it. I feel like, if I like it, that's what matters the most. And so, um, honestly, I just kind of move I move like I'm still 17, if that makes sense. And I'm old, and I'm really old, guys. I'm really
Yes.
old. So,
Stop it. No,
yeah,
but I get that. Like, I guess being an art teacher and being an artist, it kind of keeps you in that like young state,
yeah,
especially with having daughters as well. It's like you kind of get to keep your ear to the streets still a little bit.
for sure. I really am
Yeah.
grateful for the position I'm in. Being around these young people every day, it's like it's really, I really love it. Like, just hanging out with teenagers all day is kind of cool. Like, I know some people would think that's weird, but I mean, I really like being around young people. I like being around young people and just kind of, creating with them, because
Yeah.
my space is a creative space. So it's like we're always creating every day, and that's what's cool about what I do. So.